Swamp Rebellion. Looking to bring your audio production to the next level? Then PreSonus is here for you. With PreSonus Sphere, you have access to PreSonus software, Sphere member exclusives, Studio One add-ons, Notion add-ons, sample and loop libraries, and more than you could even imagine. Some of our favorite plugins are the Analog Effects Collection, the Channel Strip Collection, and the Pro Console Shaper. Having a monthly or yearly subscription will give you access to PreSonus' award-winning DAW, Studio One Professional. So what are you waiting for? Join PreSonus Sphere today. PreSonus, wherever sound takes you.
Call me.
I got some news for you.
Tyler,
I got some news.
so your girl's car was totaled.
Yeah, it was by some asshole in the middle of the night on 311
Who was intoxicated?
who was jacked up on
Yeah.
something.
For some reason, guys around here, and yes, it is a known thing, I'm calling y'all out, y'all think y'all are less of a man if you call somebody to pick you up when you're drinking and driving or when you're high on some stuff you shouldn't be on some meth or something.
I've been there, man. I know. I was that cat at one point. We all were.
Call somebody.
Just do it. It's so much easier than being a piece of shit and taking that route and risking not only your life, but the person that you get involved with's life.
Right.
And
The outcome of that wreck could have been way worse.
that's why I try to keep it in perspective.
Yeah.
Because it could have been terrible.
Right.
And luckily, we got out unscathed. Besides the mental anguish part.
Yeah, and the BS of trying to find a car in a soft economy, and there is none. Just like every other supply chain in the nation, why are we so screwed?
Oh, I wonder. So, do not buy a vehicle right now if you can help it. If you have the opportunity to sell a vehicle, please do.
Yeah.
Not only does the economy need it, but they're paying top dollar for any vehicle at this point because they ain't got none. And when I say they ain't got none, I mean Trap Chevrolet of Houma, the biggest Chevy dealer around, had one new Equinox.
Yeah.
That was claimed.
And waiting on back orders for months and months.
Yes. We're talking 6 to 8 months for a Trailblazer.
When Simone's boyfriend, a couple months ago, got T-boned coming out of his subdivision, same thing. He ended up having to order a car from a different state and have it shipped in.
Yeah.
So the market is insane.
And before you think about it, let me get this out there. Yes, I did check Carfax or check the
Carvana and
I checked all those. You know what's available? Used vehicles, not new.
Right, at an inflated price.
Trust me, I understand how purchasing big things work. Yes, I looked. Most options that are available are at least over 50,000 miles and a few years old.
Right.
So they're asking, because they can, and the market dictates this, top dollar for these used vehicles. That's almost to the point where it's the same cost for a brand new one. Well, you think to yourself, why wouldn't I just get a new one if they're costing the same, right? Because you can't get one. That's why.
Yeah.
They're new, sure. They're available somewhere, not around you. Not to be ordered online.
Right.
So
that's why when my Pathfinder died, we went look at cars, and I opted in to bring it to Morgan City. I had it towed over there to, I'm not going to say their name because they're not the greatest mechanics. But anyway, they were available.
Sure.
And they got the job done for what it was. And then I brought it to somebody else who was better, and they had time to tune it up. But I got a new engine, a new transmission, overhauled the whole thing. Cost me $10,000. I came out on top.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have bought a used vehicle in horrible condition for even close to that.
It's insane.
So I've seen some beaters out there, man. Like, you know that truck that Tozan won't let go of, that little red truck?
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff like that for like $14,000, $15,000. Tozan's truck, okay, and it's not because he don't have money. It's because he's that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm gonna ride
He's
it
like me.
till
I'm going to ride it till it dies.
it
Okay.
dies.
So his bumper is held on by bungees. Okay. And my wife used to always know when Tozan was coming. She goes, Tozan's coming over? And I'm like, yeah. I can hear him coming down the road because you could hear that belt squealing all the way down East Camellia.
Yep.
So he's like, man, it's paid for, you know, and it rolls.
That's how I am with my car right now.
Same.
You know, I have a 2012 Chevy Sonic, and I rode it super hard the first 2 years. Now I barely use it.
Yeah.
It's paid off. Why would I even consider getting rid of it at this point, other than the fact that it's worth way more than it should be?
Right. Especially with the condition that little car is in.
Yeah, it's fine. It's in great. It only has like 60,000 miles.
And you can also put the entire band's gear in the back.
Yeah, I've proven that over and over again.
Like, oh, your drums got to go in here too? Yeah, they'll go in there. Like, there's no way. Yeah, it's a clown car. It has magic.
So imagine having to be forced to have to deal with this because of someone's stupidity.
Oh, I have.
That's what I'm getting at. So if you're in the position to wait to get a new vehicle, or just the luckiest person on the bayou, by all means, grab it. But there ain't no options out there right now. And if this helps you out, and you know, and it's just some kind of circumstance that you had no help over, which is the case here, good luck. It's rough out there.
Well,
It's slim pickings.
do you think that Obi-Wan and all those cats out there, you think they ever had that issue too, where like they're looking for a new like cruiser or speeder, and like, bro, like the economy's bad. We just don't have enough like carbonic beryllium to make these things. You know,
My flux capacitor's out.
yeah.
Man.
I mean, they had to have the same issues on Dagobah and Tatooine.
Could you imagine that reality show on the
I would love that.
with the Empire?
I would love that.
It's like, man, we can't put you guys in new speeder bikes. You're gonna have to use these ones on indoor from like 20 years ago. They still run okay.
And in the background, they got two stormtroopers bitching because they got used uniforms and the crotch area is a little too tight.
We're not clones anymore, man. We're not all built the same.
We have our own minds and feelings. That'd be great.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Please make that someone.
yeah. That'd be pretty awesome. I'd be about that. Or just like they have like little smaller Jabbas, you know. And they're like used car salesmen. They're like, like, I'm not buying that Ford Pinto speeder. Like, no way, bro. Oh, no. And he hits it and the bottom falls out.
Slaps the vehicles. Yeah, man. It's so disheartening to see how the economy's moving.
It's sad. It really is.
And don't question why, because you already know why. Where you think these parts come from, and who you think we killed a relationship with.
When we worked for Best Buy, people would come in after COVID started, and they would say things like, I only want a TV that's American made, or I want an American made printer, or I want an American made computer. And you know what I would say to him and what Tyler would say to him? Nothing in this store is made in the U.S.
Do you understand the impact of what you just asked, right?
You're wanting to buy your butthole grandkid a PS5. Where you think that thing's made?
Yeah.
You think that thing's made in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Are the one TV that is American sourced parts,
It's Vizio.
are you going to be mad when I tell you that it's more expensive?
Right.
Like, you can't have it both ways,
The
man.
only American made thing that you can get at a Best Buy is going to be the Vizios.
Yeah.
But the parts still come from overseas. So sorry about your luck. Yeah, it's a lot of traca we call in the Cajun world.
So, yeah, you want quality, but you don't want to pay for it.
Right.
Who doesn't?
But everything's like that now. Bro, you think about it, when we were kids, you kept your 23-inch tube TV, forever.
That Zenith.
Right?
Yeah.
Or your RCA, and you got jealous of your friend's 29-inch because it looks so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But it still works today.
Yeah, it's still going.
But if you go buy a Samsung Q9, you get 2 years out of it, you're lucky.
Yep.
So these things are not, they with the progression of technology, when we had the house, people would think, well, your wife makes good money and you make good money, so why don't you have like Samsung appliances or LG? No, I had a Ma-Mah. You know why? Because you turn the dial and then you press the start button and it was done, just like the old days. And you know what? That lasted forever. But you see these warranty claims. It's the same thing with vehicles. Vehicles don't last like they used to. Now they have these like CRT transmissions or whatever. It's like a little plastic tube or whatever, and they pull it out and they just inject some goo into it, like from Slimer or whatever. Like, it's crazy. But they're like, oh, they last about 4 years. 4 years? 4 years?
That before you pay it off type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's built by design.
And it's the same thing with iPhone. So now iPhone, and if you buy an iPhone today and you buy an iPhone 11, you're already 2 years behind of updates, because now they only make your phone good for 3 years of updates. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Android. Now they made it to where Android can no longer have a micro SD to expand memory. It's all money racket. And all these things are designed to fail because they've set us up to fail as a nation, as a people.
And most of these things are not necessary for your life.
None of them are necessary. Because I used to say all the time to my employees when they would get stressed out, you need to take a breath and calm down, because there is nothing under this roof that is life-threatening. Nobody needs a thing. The word need. They don't need a thing in this building.
No.
We're just attached to things because we've been told that we can't live without them.
We're so conditioned to know that this is necessary to live, to have a phone note.
If you have true will, you'd be able to go out into nature and live.
So about 10 years ago is when I first got heavy into selling cell phones. And this was right whenever they started the installment program.
Right. To where you didn't have to buy your phone. You could put it on your plan and pay for it monthly, and didn't realize that you were paying 3 times what that phone was worth.
So tell me how well that went with a bunch of coon asses that are used to just using their flip phone and are happy with it. And I'm happy for you if that's cool and that's what you want. But now I have to tell you, you can't buy that phone outright anymore, and you have to have it on your bill every month.
And now it's the other way around. So because of COVID and the shortages, if you walk into Best Buy and you say, I would like to buy an unlocked iPhone, they say, we have carrier phones that you can put on your plan. Mm-hmm. Now, you can pay most of it off today, and then in 3 months, pay the rest off, or they're going to charge you for the full price of the phone. And the reason why they do that is because most people forget that.
Yeah.
So then they end up paying
It's built by
more.
design. Yeah, exactly.
So
are these cats that want the newest iPhone every year, and you just leasing a phone at that point? Which I could see both sides. Like, why do I need to own this?
Right.
If it's going to just self-destruct in a few years anyway.
Right.
And at the same time, it's like, well, I'm just paying on a note for something I will never own.
That's everything.
And that's, yeah, I mean, clearly. Like,
You could die tomorrow and not pay off your house.
right.
So
And then, someone else is stuck with that bill,
Right.
no matter what. So if you keep putting all this stock into things that aren't necessary to live or have a worthy life.
And we're not saying it's not okay to have things and to do things. We have things. We do things.
I mean, we're running MacBooks right now to do this show.
Yeah. And we burn a lot of carbon ignitions or whatever they call that crap.
You have 4 SSDs connected to your laptop
I knew.
right now.
I knew. It looks like...
We do have excess things.
It looks like Terminator took a dump on the table.
Also super guilty. I mean, I like technology.
But we're also prepared for the future, and in other ways we're prepared for what's going to happen, and that's what we're urging you guys to do. Just be prepared for what's coming.
Yeah.
Just know what's up. And like we said, the rebellion is not on a political stance on either side or in the middle. We don't want any of it.
We're off the spectrum.
That's right. We're off the spectrum, going full circle.
That's what anarchy do. And I think the biggest takeaway from this is don't be a asshole on the road.
Call me.
Dave's Gaming Galaxy is the hottest spot in Houma to buy, sell, and trade retro gaming. Have some old video games or collectibles laying around that are just getting in the way? Then call Dave at Dave's Gaming Galaxy, 870-2378, or at davesgaminggalaxy@gmail.com. Dave's Gaming Galaxy will pay you top dollar for your used games, consoles, accessories, and collectibles. So remember, that's Dave's Gaming Galaxy at gmail.com and at 985-870-2378.
Call me.
So if you're going to get outside, get on the road, and consciously know that this could be a problem, not only for me, but other people, have that at least self-awareness to know that I should have someone come get me.
Yeah.
Because if you're the type of man that will get in a wreck and fucked up on some kind of substance and not own up to that, you are not a man. You are not even a person at that point. Especially if you're the type of cat to roll up, hit this person, check on them for 5 minutes, and then leave the scene of the accident.
Yeah.
And leave a girl stranded on 311 in the middle of the night with no one around. If you're that type of person, come find me.
It's a good thing that she was next to the casino.
So many lucky things have lined up that there were people there that were nearby that were honest to good people and stayed with her.
But you also have to look at the other side of it. All right. Just like we talked about in the last episode, you and I didn't always see eye to eye. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why she's, and it's crap the way things happen sometimes, but she's out of that vehicle. You were able to find a new vehicle. She is alive. She may be a stronger person from it now.
It's perspective.
So, and it's okay to be angry, because I've been there and I know the feeling, and I understand. But on the other hand, you also have to now take it into perspective, saying this guy is always going to be a dipshit.
Yeah.
Always. It's very hard for people to change. Very small percent of people like that actually change and become what they're truly meant to be. That guy may have all the potential in the world, but right now he's failing at life.
Yeah, clearly.
So you got to kind of go back to what we were taught when we were kids. By the grace of God, there go I. Because that could be me. That could have been you, because we've done those things. We were just lucky enough not to have hurt anybody or done anything stupid like that, or even just to be a total asshole because you have enough money to leave some girl left on side the road.
Our daddy has enough money to cover you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then try to pay you off.
That's the thing. And
let me get that straight real quick. The rebellion can always be paid off.
Let's put that out in the world.
All right? But the number just has to be right.
Yeah. There's a cost.
That's right.
That's real.
So just remember, if you're trying to pay us off, don't lowball us, because it ain't gonna work.
It's the matter of perspective, right? I am super grateful that nothing catastrophic happened. Now, having to deal with all this mess for almost a month now by no design of our own has been a huge burden. And I am grateful that we got out of it the way we did. But the thing is, I think what's the most scary about this is that at any point, you could be the most comfortable you are. You're vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
In any way.
And right when you think your life is in control, because things are kind of like since the storm and y'all got the house back together, it was kind of just rolling, man.
The gears
like,
are good.
Yeah. But that's what, look at it like this. Whenever we get complacent in life, Mother Nature has a way of slamming something right in our face and saying, you need a wake-up call because these are the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
And maybe that was your realignment. Maybe you were on such a course, okay, that you needed to see another way in order to understand what was right in front of you.
And I'm grateful to have these types of experiences and have the open mind to think about that and know that that's true. You know, the universe does give these signs of, hey, you're on the right path and you're not. And if you read into them and believe that that's true, it'll only help you. It can't hurt you.
That's right.
It won't hurt to think that what's meant to happen happens. And what is not meant to go through, don't fight the current.
Listeners out there, always hold your loved ones close and cherish them every day. And to our gals, Randy and Kel, we know y'all don't listen to this show, so y'all never going to hear this, but we love you.
We do.
Yes. Kids, we love y'all. Not y'all kids, our kids.
Yeah.
My kids, because Tyler doesn't have any offspring yet.
I got nieces and stuff.
But guys, always just be mindful of others. Don't ever be complacent in the place to where you think it's okay to be somewhere trashed and then get behind the wheel. Be a man or be a woman. You know, it's no different for you gals out there listening because I know some lushes. I know, and y'all some lushes, but
own up to your shit.
Yeah, and if you do mess up, just handle it.
So much more respect comes with that whenever you say, hey, look, I effed up here.
Right.
Let me fix it.
Yeah, when you own up to it. And that's going back to what we said about what was it, Dancing with Downs or whatever that I watched?
Yeah.
Same thing. You know, go watch that and learn what honesty is about. You know, and then you're gonna see that the world we live in is much worse than what we thought.
It is. And if you keep this level head too, and you already are here and with us, so much respect goes out for that.
And like I said, these shrooms are really good. So my outlook is way different now.
I think you found your ratio.
Oh man. So you want to hear what I did? I took some Godiva, not sponsored by Godiva, but some Godiva dark chocolate, made me a little double boiler.
Yes, sir.
Made me some shroom powder. And then I dropped that in there. Well, what happened was, I guess because of the humidity here, it didn't reharden. It kind of stayed at like a fudge consistency. So my wife had some chocolate-covered sea salted almonds. Some dark chocolate sea salt almonds.
Already, yeah.
So she came up with the idea to roll them into balls, put the almond in the middle like a truffle, and then roll it in crushed almonds. And not just delicious, but
nutritious.
Nutritious to the soul.
Yeah.
Man, nothing can piss me off right now.
How much supply you on that? You good?
For
a little while?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I got about a month's worth, but I talked to a guy last night who they have this new little strain out coming from the dispensaries. It's called Giraffe Pea. Mm-hmm. I told him get me an ounce of that, so I'm gonna try those next. So I'm gonna keep microdosing for a while. I've been smoking a lot less pot.
Yeah. I remember the first time whenever you got on that. That seemed to be a huge benefit.
Absolutely.
So you were.
And it's not that I'm against pot and I want to stop. I can't smoke an ounce every 4 days.
Constantly.
Yeah, or every 2 days sometimes, or every day sometimes.
It gets expensive, man.
It do. But it also makes my wife worry because she's like, dude, you're like puffing Magic Dragon right now. You need to reel it in some. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, my nerves get bad. And
what helps to keep...
But the shrooms are helping.
Yeah.
And
keeps the demons at bay.
Again, if you're going to do some shrooms, don't trust the shrooms just out there. Get some from somebody who can get them from a dispensary or something like that. I'm a firm believer now. I've done a couple of resets. Tyler's seen, in the past couple of years I've done it. And, I probably should have started this like a couple months ago, but better late than never.
And
but
it's never a permanent thing either.
No.
It's just...
Some people do them forever now. Like, there are people that are prescribed them. They take that gram a day. But me personally, like, I like making my own little edibles or drinking it and some coffee or whatever. So it's been cool.
Kind of part of the routine of the day.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And like I said, my outlook's been different because I don't think any other way, even high, I would have looked at that documentary the way I did and really saw it for what it was for. And I like that. I like to be woke, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if all you woke peeps out there,
You woke cats and kittens.
Shout out to Carol Baskin.
it would help tremendously if you had a little bit of shrooms in your life.
On a side note, go look up this conspiracy that Michael Jackson is still alive and he's a completely different person. And he actually, bro, he looks like a corpse. Go look it up. I'm not going to go any further. We're going to talk about that next time on the Dank Swamp Rebellion.
Like Emperor Palpatine in episode 9.
But
Michael Jackson.
If he went trans. If Senator Palpatine went trans, yes.
So, you know how they had him hooked up to machines to, like, make him move?
More like if Palpatine and Caitlyn Jenner made a baby.
He's got him constantly moonwalking.
Exactly. And he even said with the voice and everything, like, so he doesn't have any lips and his face is all caved in. You remember the little doll thing that rode the little bike on a saw? He kind of looks like that thing. So, and he's like, I'm not dead, y'all. I'm alive. Would you like to play a game? And then he's like, I'm so sad they put my chimp down or something like that.
It's probably just the AI corrupting on itself.
Yeah. It's starting to implode, which we can only hope for. One or two things are going to happen. Either the whole simulation shuts down and we just all die because that's what it's going to be, or it shuts down and then we realize that it's just around us and then we can really start living our lives.
My bet's on the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can hope. We can only hope.
I don't know if I'd want to see the landscape now without it.
Yeah.
That's why we don't get to.
Right.
The shrooms open that portal, though.
They do. Well, it also makes me look at art and stuff different, too, because I realized that when you are... the other day I took the shrooms and then I left and I was driving and I realized that our world is layered. So as you're driving along, you can see layer after layer.
Like a Photoshop layer.
And they were moving toward me slowly, which was very peaceful.
Yeah.
And then same thing when I went outside and looked, just hanging out in the backyard smoking a joint. The tree back there is like my oak tree's in full bloom. And then that field and then the tree line in the back and the sky in the background, like I could see these layers that I've never seen before. I've never looked at it that way before. So that's pretty cool. And then I ended up watching the new season of Death, Love Plus Robots, Love, Death Plus Robots. Have you watched the new season?
So good, dude.
Bruh,
it's amazing what they're doing with this stuff.
You don't have to like how they made it that explicit for a reason, right? Because that art style, like nobody's just gonna watch it. So it's all shorts, but amazing. There's the points in it to where some of the CGI you can kind of tell. But for the most part, they look like real people, bro.
So now that I'm starting to get a little bit more into this industry, working with like CGI people and like modeling and stuff, whenever all these cats look at something like Death Plus Robots and Love, that's like a pinnacle. Same thing with Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Same thing there, because what's happening with this medium is CG and animation are merging into one medium.
You know what I find, though? I find that they can make landscaping look more realistic than anything, though.
Yeah.
Because when
It's been that way for a while.
did you see the episode on the new season to where those soldiers are up on that and they that landscape
wild.
that landscape was amazing. And then when they walked in, the little light leaks to show like particles reflecting in front of them.
It's amazing.
And the way that, and you could say the way it was shot, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Was amazing too, because it would have looked like a camera angle.
The cinematography.
Was amazing.
So it's the same thing with like Mandalorian when they go into the I forget the name of the studio, but you know the LED,
The sweet one, yeah.
the LED
The expensive
panel
one.
walls. It's so all that's rendered in Unreal 5, which is like the new
Yeah.
pinnacle of this software to put this stuff out, and you're able to get very, very realistic results out of this. And we just got Unreal 5. So, like, imagine we're 6 years down the road and these cats know this software inside out.
Right.
What that's going to eventually look like.
When you think about some of the first full CGI movies that try to, well, I'm talking about ones that try to go full CGI, but they try to make the humanry look real, right? So was
so Uncanny Valley.
right. So if you think about when Beowulf came out, that was full CGI. That was the first time they really tried to make humans, and there were parts in there where it did, but for the most part you could still tell. Now, all these years later, 22 years later,
We still can't get it right.
but there are some scenes that and it's mostly like even with animals, right? So the way a horse would move, the horse, like the hind end when it gallops, is limited to the height that they put it on. A horse would normally, its muscle structure would react differently, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part of it. If there's a still frame of a man's face, though, I feel like the men are probably easier because the facial hair can hide a lot of the curvatures, right? Women never look real.
There's this one person.
The girl in there does not, except for the one that was all in gold.
Yeah, she looked good. There's a guy on our Instagram that we follow that sometimes I'm scrolling through and I see a picture of a person. I'm like, oh, that's a cool picture. It's literally CG.
I know who you're talking about.
It fakes me out.
Bro, one day he did a Jack Nicholson, and me and Kelly was at lunch, and I said, look at this. She goes, big deal, it's a picture of Jack Nicholson. And then I started scrolling through because it'll show the backtrack of the progression.
Yeah.
She was like, that's amazing. Who did that? And I'm like, some genius.
This dude.
Some genius. Don't worry about it, just some genius.
And you know, you got all these super, super talented people in CG who do sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to get away with.
Yeah.
You know, robotic parts. I think there's something behind the eyes that isn't apparent that they can't give life to.
Right.
And that's the biggest
But it's
obstacle.
also for skin to be the elasticity
Yeah.
can only go so far right now. That's the thing. That's when you really realize, because there were some of them, like even with the one where the girl popped out of the water and was drawing them all in, like some of those characters looked really, really realistic, even her. But then there came to certain points where you could just tell.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
But awesomely done. Like some of the most amazing stuff. Like, bro, the one with the rats where the robot scorpion was like shooting all the rats for the guy, and then the guy winds up turning on the robot and killing it. That was amazing. I was like, this is so high quality.
It's like, look at something like Dune, you know, like
Yeah.
that level of quality for this. So I think the big point to, you could have a still and it really come across as real life, but the animation of how that thing moves, you could pretty much pick up on right away.
Yeah.
Even AI at this point, like the deep fake stuff, it's getting better.
Well, whenever they run, like say they take off running, it looks like a video game.
Yeah.
The stride of a man is not like that, because the stride of a man is going to feel every little thing. He's going to be falling all over. And like, yeah, they'll fall sometimes, but for the most part, you could tell the stride. Even like I said with animals, if that animal is standing still, yeah, it's realistic. But if it once it starts to move, it just doesn't react the same. But guys, y'all getting there.
It's
Good
so-
job.
it's so
y'all
close.
getting there. Like, y'all have us hooked.
I'm actually really kind of scared for when we do cross that threshold, because at what point what is real,
Dude, I'm going to give you some shrooms, and it ain't going to matter.
you'll be able to pick through.
Yeah. I'll be
Yeah.
like, man, this is awesome.
Just enjoy it, man.
But thank all of you for listening. We love you guys. And
Oh, this is breaking news as well. You've been in a VR for 10 years.
Call me.
Thank you for listening to Dank Swamp Rebellion. Check us out on DSRTalks.com.